I didn't know that I would really miss him.
Let me begin with a truth that might sting a little. She doesn't start missing you when you argue. She doesn't start missing you when you chase, when you explain yourself 1,000 times, or when you try to prove your worth. She starts missing you when your name no longer lights up her phone, when the rhythm she grew comfortable with suddenly goes quiet. Not when you lose your voice in shouting matches, but when you reclaim your voice by going silent with purpose. This is not a game. This is not manipulation. It's self-respect. And when a man finally steps back, not out of spite, but out of discipline, it shakes the entire ground a woman stands on. Because silence isn't empty, it's a mirror. And when she looks into that mirror, she begins to see the very things she ignored. Most women aren't cold manipulators. They are emotional. They are impulsive. They crave connection and validation. And yes, they have to test boundaries. Sometimes they mistake consistency for weakness. Sometimes they confuse patience for desperation. And sometimes, without even realizing it, we assume you'll always be there, until you're not. The moment you stop orbiting around her world, the moment your presence fades, the moment you're no longer instantly available, something inside her flips. That's when the missing begins. But here's the twist. She doesn't miss your actions as much as she misses how she felt in your presence. It's not about the text message itself. It's about the safety behind it. Not about the snack you brought home, but the fact you were listening. And when those things are gone, they echo loudly. At first, it feels like confusion. Why hasn't he called? Why hasn't he checked in today? That confusion turns into restlessness. She begins to refresh her feed, watch your stories without engaging, search for your presence in places where she used to ignore it. Her ego doesn't know how to process the shift because her ego always assumed you would be there. And it doesn't take months. Sometimes just a few days, a week of true distance, is enough to flip her sense of certainty into a storm of questions. Did I push him away? Did I test him too far? Did he find someone new? You have to understand something powerful here. When a woman pulls back or pretends not to care, very often it's a test. It's a subconscious way of asking, how badly will you fight for me? But if you don't fight, if you don't chase, if you walk away calmly instead, it shocks her system. Because deep down, she never expected you to stop. She thought your energy was endless, your patience infinite. And when she realizes it isn't, she starts realizing how much of her stability was secretly built on your presence. And that's when regret begins to creep in. The things she once overlooked become the very things she starts craving. The way you always remembered the little details. The way you forgave her moods. The way you made her feel like home was not a place, but a person. None of it seemed extraordinary at the time, because you did it every day. But once it's gone, the absence speaks louder than your presence ever did. Now here's where it gets interesting. When a woman realizes she's taken a good man for granted, she doesn't always admit it. In fact, most of the time she does the opposite. She puts on a mask. She plays it cool. She acts unbothered. She posts pictures captioned, "Living my best life." She may even flirt with someone else, just to prove she's not thinking about you. But inside, there's a quiet spiral. At night, she replays your conversations. She wonders if she confused your loyalty for weakness. She asks herself whether she mistook your effort as cheap just because it was consistent. This internal war between ego and emotion is brutal. The ego screams, "Don't reach out, don't admit fault, he should have fought harder." But the emotion whispers, "You pushed away a rare man, and you may not get him back." That tug of war doesn't resolve overnight. It comes in waves. A laugh with someone new that doesn't feel the same. A moment of stillness when your name comes to mind. A glimpse of you on social media glowing in ways she hasn't seen before. The ego wants control, but emotion always wins eventually. Now let me tell you what hurts her the most. It's not just your silence. It's your glow. Because silence might create questions, but glow creates answers. When you stop orbiting around her and start orbiting around your purpose, everything changes. She sees a man not posting bitterness, not chasing closure, but living, training, building, traveling, laughing genuinely. The glow is different when it's not for show, but for self. Women know the difference between a man who is flexing for attention and a man who is flourishing in his lane. Flexing is loud and temporary. Flourishing is quiet and undeniable. And when she sees flourishing, when she sees you lighter, sharper, more grounded than when she had you, that's when it cuts deep. Because now the comparison begins. Not between you and the next man, but between the version of you she once had access to and the version of you that no longer needs her validation. Silence isn't absence, it's tension. It forces reflection. Without your constant reassurance, she's left to hear her own thoughts. And those thoughts can be deafening. Did I mistake kindness for control? Did I mistake patience for lack of options? Did I think I had forever when time was actually running out? That silence becomes a mirror she can't look away from. And that mirror creates regret. Here's what most men don't realize. When a woman takes you for granted and you go silent, she doesn't feel empowered. She feels replaced. She starts scanning to see if you've moved on. She looks for your name online. She asks friends about you quietly. And if she finds nothing, that's even scarier. Because no activity means you're not just waiting in the wings, you're gone. And deep down, that's the fear every woman carries. That the man she overlooked might finally realize his worth and no longer need her validation. Now let me pivot to you. Because this entire conversation isn't about manipulating her. It's about rebuilding you. Silence without substance is just sulking. But silence filled with structure, growth, and purpose is transformation. That's why you have to treat silence as sacred ground. Replace reactions with rituals. Replace chasing with creating. Replace seeking validation with building value. In the first week of pulling back, protect your peace. Sleep well. Train your body. Journal what you feel so you don't leak it onto her. In the second week, redirect your energy. Clean your space. Audit your calendar. Build in disciplines that reinforce who you are. By the third week, you'll notice something. You're no longer obsessing over what she thinks, because your time is too full. Your silence has stopped being a tactic and become a lifestyle. Women notice this shift. They notice when your presence is no longer cheap. They notice when you are no longer accessible on demand. They notice when you have turned your attention inward and you're moving like a man who knows he brings value with or without them. That's when the psychological shift flips. Now she feels like she is being evaluated. Now she wonders if she still measures up to your standards. And if she doesn't, she knows you won't bend. That's the key. It's not about making her panic. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard. A woman can't take a man for granted who doesn't give her the chance. If you allow her to treat you like an afterthought, she will. If you keep showing up with loyalty when she's showing you neglect, she'll interpret that as desperation. And nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. But when you withdraw your energy from where it's not respected, everything changes. You stop auditioning. You stop proving. You stop begging to be chosen. Instead, you choose yourself. And from that place, respect is no longer something you chase. It's something you embody. So what happens next? If she truly valued you, your silence won't feel like abandonment. It will feel like gravity. It will pull her back toward clarity, toward accountability, toward reciprocity. But if she didn't value you, your silence becomes your shield. It saves you years of wasted energy. It clears space for someone who sees you without needing to lose you first. Here's the ultimate paradox. She doesn't miss the version of you that begged. She doesn't miss the man who texted 10 times to prove his worth. She misses the man who walks in purpose, who glows without an audience, who doesn't pause his life for confusion. Quiet, confident detachment hits different. It's not angry. It's not desperate. It's peaceful. And peace is magnetic. So don't chase closure. Don't chase her. Build yourself. Protect your peace. Let silence speak louder than words ever could. Because when you stop auditioning, when you stop performing, when you stop betraying your own standards just to be accepted, that's when you become unforgettable. Not because you withheld love, but because you withheld self-betrayal. Silence is not empty. Silence is clarity. And when you live with standards, the world shifts around you. Some people will rise to meet you. Some people will fade. Let both happen without commentary. Because at the end of the day, you were never meant to be chasing validation. You were meant to be creating gravity. And that is the moment when silence truly starts speaking.